you a general overview of the difference between your different type of coffee grinders on the market. Before me, we're going to be taking a look at two of the most common. First is, I'm sure what you're familiar with, is your blade grinder, and then this is an example of a Burr grinder or a conical grinder. Now, to understand why you might prefer one over the other, you have to have a general understanding of how the grind of a coffee can affect the flavor. It greatly affects the flavor, and you need to match the size of your coffee grind to the brewing method that you're going to be using. For example, the longer that a coffee grind is exposed to the hot water, the more surface area that's exposed to the water, the more it's going to be releasing its flavor. So if the water's not going to be in contact with the coffee grinds for very long, you can use a finer coffee grind. If they're going to be exposed for a long period of time, as within a French press where you're letting the coffee grounds steep in the water, you're going to want a very coarse ground. So again, if it's too finely ground for the brewing method in which you're using, you're going to be getting overexposed, bitter, harsh, extracted taste. And if you're using an overly coarse grind for the brewing method, let's say you're using a very, very coarse grind and you're trying to put it in an espresso machine, you're going to get a very weak coffee. So the key to coffee grinding is to match the fineness with the brewing method, and also you want a uniform coffee grind. You don't want some large pieces and then some coffee dust mixed in, because you're not getting consistency within the beans. So here we're going to be exploring the difference between the Burr grinder and your regular blade grinder. The Burr grinder, or conical grinder as it's sometimes called, has two revolving conical grinding plates, or circular grinding plates, that move to squeeze and crush the beans. By doing this squeezing and crushing, you're releasing the oils and creating a richer, smoother taste with your coffee beans, because those are being released. It rotates at a very low speed of under 500 RPMs. And the reason why it's that slower is so you reduce the frictional heat caused or exerted on those beans, which retains the aroma of the beans. This grinder has a variety of different settings, which makes it suitable for creating different brew systems. So on the far left here, we have a very, very fine grinding setting, and that would be suitable for your espresso machines. As you move towards the center, you're going to get a kind of medium grind, and that would be ideal for your drip systems. And on the far right over here, we have a very, very coarse grind, and that's what you'd want to use for your French press systems. Now, in contrast, you have the blade grinder over here, which has two blades that rotate and chop or slice the beans at a very, very high speed. The speed here is about 20 to 30,000 RPMs. And as you can guess, is different from this that only maxes out at around 500. The 20,000 to 30,000 RPM actually warms the coffee, and there's a lot of frictional heat that's released into the beans, which also reduces some of the aroma and the flavor that comes from the beans. The main concern I have with this is you can't really control the size of the grind, and also it's not uniform. So you think, okay, I can get a coarser grind, I'm just going to pulse it a couple of times. You'll quickly find out you're going to have some coffee dust mixed in with some beans that maybe have been cut in half or in a fourth. So it's inconsistent. They're not uniform coffee beans that are brought from this. So typically when you use this, you grind an entire batch of your coffee beans to a fine dust. And that sort of coffee grind consistency is best suited for your drip, because it has a paper filter that can catch that. If you try and put the coffee grounds brewed or ground from this into a French press or espresso machine, you're quickly going to find it's going to clog your espresso machine, or it's going to clog the wire mesh in your drip system, and you're going to get a lot of residue in your coffee. So that's a general overview of these two different types of grinding systems. I also have a product review of the Bodum conical grinder that you can also watch. So please take a look at our video review links. We appreciate you watching, and happy coffee making.